Ship's log, Celestial Day 218.245.12. We are in the drift and heading, hopefully, toward the Shattered Federation's base. I regret that I had to fire on and disable Brennan Shelton's ship, but he attacked us and he seems to be on the side of the Shattered Federation, so we disabled him, and hopefully he'll still be there when we get back to System Alpha Omega, because otherwise he might be back at Dead Rock and filling out papers for our arrest. Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is Starforged Alpha Cluster. We are with Krista, and in the last session, Krista and Mainframe got the passphrase to get into the Shattered Federation from Arnev, but on the condition that they get a symbiote from the Forgotten Ones. Arnev has been infected by one of the Forgotten Ones. He was in a vault. He was exploring it. One of them attacked him. It infected him with something in his blood, and only the symbiote can cure it. But the Shattered Federation's raiders were in the same vault. Arnev hid from them. They didn't find him. They killed the Forgotten One, and they took its symbiote as maybe something they could sell or use. And so Krista's got to get it back. As a result, we upgraded the vow of returning artifacts stolen by the raiders from I should change it to the items. We upgraded it to formidable. We've done 2 things, and we have, a bunch to go. So she has unfortunately fired on an officer of the law. He is on the take, but he's still technically an officer of the law, so this could get her into trouble. I've also put some locations of weave hubs here. I don't know what's in this hex, so I'm going to wait to move this in until we see it. But you can also see that here, I've got one here as well. So these are the 2 hubs in this sector. This is the official one, and this is the unofficial one that the Shattered Federation has. And then all the other places just have substations that aren't manned. And an adept has to be in the weave hub at all times. So these guys have 3 adepts. I don't know how many the Shattered Federation has. Mainframe used to be one of theirs, so they might be down one. Or maybe they've replaced him. So we're in the drift, and we are heading toward the next anchorage, which will be this X. And we're going to come out of the drift and see what happens. And we'll see how we go. We did get into a fight last session, and I do want to say I made a couple of mistakes. So one of the things that I sort of forgot about, because I've been thinking about control and in a bad spot, and not so much the way initiative works in Ironsworn, but it's the same thing as in Ironsworn. If you get a weak hit on a move, you lose control. So I raised the shields after entering the fray. Now, theoretically, I could have raised the shields before entering the fray, but I didn't. I raised them after entering the fray. So she made a move in combat, and we got a weak hit. And that should have lost control, so I should not have been able to strike. The other mistake I made was when Shelton hit her ship and it was absorbed by the shields, it was a complication. It was actually a miss with a match. And I said that, and I said there's a complication here, but then I got so caught up in figuring out how did the shields actually work? Do I need to roll? That by the time I got done working that out, it took a couple of minutes. I forgot to do the complication. So actually she benefited from 2 things that she shouldn't have. So I feel like that means there needs to be a penalty. So I'm going to penalize her 1 momentum, just to make it fair, right? So we're going through the drift, and we've got to undertake a journey, and I think that kind of recaps what happened last session. So let's go ahead and make the undertake a journey move and see what happens when we come out of the drift, or undertake an expedition. So we're going to roll, and since she incapacitated Brennan Shelton's ship, I don't think we had to do it quickly. We're staying vigilant. Or actually, no, didn't I say we have to stay under the radar? We got to roll Shadow this time. So she's rolling Shadow. There really isn't any help she can get from any of her assets. So let's just see what happens. No momentum here, so yeah, that's bad. Miss and pay the price. So we're waylaid by a crisis or arrive at a waypoint to confront an immediate hardship or threat. So I think this is an immediate hardship or threat. So we come out of a waypoint, and, well, actually, it's not a waypoint, right? So Yeah, I think this drift isn't going to lead straight in here. We're going to have to go like up one and over. It's going to have to be a, like a roundabout. The passage doesn't go straight, right? Kind of like here. It goes over and up. And here it kind of wound this way, right? It didn't go straight. I think the same thing is happening here. It's not going to go straight. So we come out of the drift, and what do we see? We see a glowing orange star. All right. And so let's create one. And I will bring you back. All right, so we have created Eta Chronos. This is not a waypoint, right? Or at least it's not a valid anchorage. We've kind of got lost. So I'm going to redraw this drift. We're going to have the star here, and then the drift is going to kind of come around this way or something. But for right now, we're in this hex with Eta Chronos, and we've got to roll a peril. And our peril is sabotage is revealed. Okay. So how are we sabotaged? So let me think about that. Okay, so I think they come out of space, and remember in the last episode, her ship underwent some stress from flying around. And I think all of a sudden there's a warning light. Let's go to pay the price, because you're supposed to, in addition to the peril, pay the price. And your equipment or vehicle malfunctions. So I think what happens here is they come out of space. They come out of the drift, and there's like alarm bells going off and everything. And what Krista finds out is that Shelton somehow had someone, one of the people installing the shield module in Relic, did something to it to sabotage it. And when she comes out of the drift, it basically, the shield module somehow overloads her E-drive. So they're just stuck dead in space, not at a waypoint. Basically, they come out of the drift early, and she says, what the hell just happened? The E-drive just stopped. And they go back into engineering, and they look around, and they figure it out, and they figure out that there's something going on with the shield module is somehow negatively interacting with the E-drive, and that it's been sabotaged. So now they're going to have to deal with that. So I think what she's going to do is she's going to have to repair, right? I think at this point she's going to have to repair her ship, right, to repair the sabotage. So she's making her own repairs. And Mainframe is a hacker and a scavenger, but he's not an engineer. So he's like, sorry, I don't know anything about this. So she says, okay, go up to the front and take the pilot's chair. And if you see any, take the con. And if you see anything, get us underway. I'm going to see if I can uninstall and reinstall this module so that we get the shields back properly. So let's see what happens, right? So I think this is repair. And if she's able to successfully do this, maybe we can also get the integrity back for the vehicle. So let's see what happens. So we're rolling wits, right? Because she's making her own repairs. She's not obtaining repairs from someone. So we're rolling wits. Oh boy. Okay, so we get a weak hit. We gain repair points appropriate to the situation. So we're in the field, but we're not under fire. We get 1 point. Take +1 integrity on a vehicle for +1 point. So here's what I'm going to rule. Because this was sabotage, and we only get 1 point of repair, she can't up the integrity of the ship. She can only fix the sabotage. So she manages to undo the sabotage and Like basically, she takes the module out. She sees where it was miswired to short out the E drive. She undoes that. She puts it back in and fixes it. But she doesn't really have the time. At that point, the E drive has rested long enough. She doesn't really have the time to fix the integrity of the starship, right? Because that I think would have been that would have required more points, right? So I think that's fair enough. Okay? So I think it worked and it gets them back underway. I don't know. Wait, repair another device takes 2 points. Or 3 points. Actually, I think we're going to have to do this one. Repair another device that takes 3 points. So it's 1 point plus it's going to take 2 supply. So it's going to eat up some of her supply. I think that's fair, right? She's not upping the integrity of the... Oh, wait. Fix 1 broken module is 2 points. Okay, so there it is. All right. So it's not really, I mean, it's not really a broken module. The shields don't have integrity to them, right? It's just whether they're up or down. But I think narratively it makes sense. So it uses 1 supply and the point of repair, and she's able to fix it. And they get back underway, and they're going to head into this hex now to get back onto their drift. And now we undertake an expedition, and we're at very low momentum, which is bad. So this is only supposed to be a troublesome expedition. We could try to like end the expedition now, but I feel like because we went off course, we probably shouldn't do that yet. Let's try to get back on course. So let's undertake an expedition, and we're staying vigilant. And we get a strong hit. We reach a waypoint. All right. So this is the waypoint here instead of there, right? So this is just going to be a star sitting out, not in a drift passage. Should we put it here? I think we should put it here. So it's going to go from here straight up. So we kind of went a little off course. So we are on course. We gained a waypoint. And let's see what we get here. And then the next leap is going to hopefully take her into the Shattered Federation. So we get a settlement. Is this it? I mean, should we just roll our progress here and see, is this it? Right? If we look at finish an expedition. When your expedition comes to an end, roll the challenge dice. Strong hit, we reach our destination or complete our survey. Weak hit as above, but face an unforeseen complication. On a miss, your destination is lost to you, or you come to understand the true nature of or cost of the expedition. Yeah, so is this it? If it's not it, we'll put ourselves back in this hex, and it's going to be longer to get there, right? We're going to have to clear progress. So let's see. Are we here? Did we maybe go through here? In which case, I'll just leave this drift the way it is. Or did we end up over here, and we've got to go around? So let's see. We got to a settlement. If it's a settlement, it might be the Shattered Federation. I don't yet know like what kind of a settlement they are in. So let's see. Is this the Shattered Federation's hex? We get a strong hit. We are there. We have entered this Shattered Federation hex. Okay, so now we're going to have to play around with this and see what we get. So settlement. So let's create a new settlement in the Chronostide sector. So this is a location, and the location type is settlement. It's in the Outlands. What kind of a settlement is it? It's orbital. So that means it's orbiting a planet, right? And so it is an orbital location called Farpoint. I love it. And let's see, how big is it? Thousands. Okay, that makes sense because this is a big group. And our first looks are, it is built from organic materials and has intimidating defenses, of course. And its authority. Well, all right. What we're going to actually do is say authority. This is going to be the Shattered Federation, right? I don't know exactly who's in charge here. I don't think this is their headquarters for the whole galaxy. It's just their headquarters for this sector. We don't know what their projects and stuff are. Initial contact, neutral or automated. Okay, so there's an automated defense system. So let me work this out, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, folks, we're back. So this is the planet Nemesis 3, and the star that it's orbiting is a binary system, Nemesis Alpha and Nemesis Beta. I decided to name the planet and then name the stars after it. I'm getting tired of doing everything with Greek letters, so I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. And so this is the third planet of the system, and it is a furnace world with glowing rivers of lava and clouds of ash, and there's no real atmosphere and no life on here. And there is an orbital thing made from organic materials, built from organic materials, with intimidating defenses. So what we have to figure out is what the heck is this? So this is some kind of an organic thing, almost like, if you remember ironically, this is Farpoint. If you've ever watched Star Trek: The Next Generation, the very first episode, Encounter at Farpoint, there was actually a base, Farpoint Station, that was made from a living creature that seemed to be inorganic at first, but then it turned out to be an organic creature that looked like a giant, kind of like a space jellyfish. So I don't think it looks like that. I think, could this be something like a space creature's corpse that they're living in? I think that's possible. Let's roll action and theme and find out a little bit more about this. Explore spirit. Okay, let's try descriptor and focus. I'm drawing some blanks here, so I'm going to get some ideas. Desolate rendezvous. Okay, well, spirit, desolate. I think it's the corpse of some massive creature. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to create a creature. Its environment is space, right? And it's obviously ultra scale. So I think it's colossal, right? We're just gonna go ahead and say this so that it is a mountain-sized. It's built in the mountain-sized body of something, right? Built inside a creature the size of a mountain, right? And in orbit around, and this is Nemesis 3. Right, and so then what we're going to do is, what's its basic form? So its basic form is ray. Well. I think it's obvious what this is. This is a dead gamma ray, right? The gamma ray is hill-sized, but this is probably a young gamma ray, right? This is a baby. It doesn't want to keep. Right? This is a baby. It's a juvenile. The adult is dead and is floating in orbit around Nemesis 3 and is being used as a base. And it's a massive thing the size of a mountain. So we get here, and it turns out that this thing is built into the body of this gamma ray. Now let's see. We came here with this move. We got a strong hit. And right, no, that was undertake an expedition. Where's the... Hang on. So, okay, progress roll. We got here, right? And that was a strong hit. So that means with our strong hit, we reach our destination. We mark a reward on our legacy track per the rank, 1 tick for troublesome. And this is completed now. So we can unmark it as a bookmark. I always forget to do that first. And we get, this is on the discoveries, tick. And we have arrived at the Federation. So that marks progress here. And now it's supposed to have impressive defenses, right? If we look up here, intimidating defenses. Oh, and I rolled authority that's ineffectual, but yeah, we're not going to use that. So it has intimidating defenses. So what are its defenses? Let's roll. Should we do creature revealed aspects? No, I don't think so, because this is a dead one, right? So let's roll descriptor and focus and see what we get for isolated archive. Yeah, that doesn't help me. How about action and theme? What are its defenses like? Create opportunity. Well, that doesn't help me. How about combat action? So what do they do in battle? Make a sacrificial attack. Guys, I'm getting nothing. Let me think for a while. All right, so let's remember that you need a passphrase. And I think what these guys have done on the gamma ray is, in addition to like carving its body out to create places to live inside and so on, they've also managed to get control of the organ, whatever it is, that generates the gamma ray burst. And so what they do is they sweep it around the area. And if so, as ships are coming in, if they don't have the passphrase, they're just going to get hit with this gamma ray. If you do have the passphrase, they'll turn it off as it sweeps past your ship. So Krista is going to stop way at the limits of the Oort cloud or whatever of this system and put her ship on standby. And then she and Mainframe are going to get into the snub fighter. They've got the passphrase. She's going to bring her environmental suit and her other gear and stow it on the third seat. And we've got an environmental suit for Mainframe in case he needs it too. But he tells her you can breathe inside the station, right inside the body. You just can't breathe on the planet. And they're going to get into the ship. She's going to open the docking bay doors, fly the ship out, have the docking bay doors close, and be like, hopefully we can get back here. And then they're going to fly toward this floating orbital dead gamma ray. And they see on their sensors the sweep of this gamma ray thing. So if you get too close, within like a few AUs of it, this is going to hit. And so as they approach, she's raised on the radio, and she's wearing her environmental suit helmet, so they can't recognize her. And she's raised on the radio. Stinger 03, Stinger 03, you've been gone a while, right, from the transponder. Send us the passphrase, and we'll let you in, right? And so Krista is going to provide them with the passphrase. So the question is, are they going to realize who she is? I think this is facing danger, right? And she's facing danger with stealth. And we still don't have any momentum. So this could be bad. She does have the passphrase, though. So let me think about how to do this. Yeah, okay, I mean, this is a step in the quest, right? Get into Federation territory. What we're going to actually have to say is get into Farpoint, right? So to do that, she needs the passphrase. And we've got the passphrase, so she can do that. But I still think she has to face danger here. I think she's got to convince them who she is, right? They know that this Stinger ship is missing. They haven't been able to raise their guys because their 3 guys are dead on wreck. Wellspring. Maybe they've even found the guys, right? Remember, they want revenge on her. They kind of know who she is. Maybe she's going to let Mainframe do the talking, but they know him too, so she's kind of screwed on that. So she's kind of filtering her voice through the environmental suit. They ask her about the environmental suit, and she says, "Well, we took a little bit of damage, and our atmosphere is questionable inside the ship, so we're just wearing environmental suits for safety." Um, so is this a compel? Or face danger? I think this is facing danger, right? She just wants to get him to turn off the gamma ray. Now they might make a demand. Yeah, I guess I'm going to change my mind. I think this is compelling. Before we do this, can we secure an advantage? Okay, so yes. So what she's going to do is she's going to ask Mainframe, what's the protocol as we come in? What's the protocol? And ask him to explain it to her. And I think this is, I guess this is sociability, right? She's chatting him up. I'll give her the +1 for the bond. And rolling heart. And we get a weak hit. So we get +2 momentum. That's good. We get a little bit more momentum. Or we get +1 on our next move. Let's take the +1 on the next move. I hate to drain the momentum, but I think we're going to need +1. And then she's going to do the compel, right? And try to convince this guy that she's got the right passphrase. And I think we're rolling shadow. We're getting the bonus because Mainframe told us how to do it. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Weak hit. They'll do what you want, but the agreement comes with a demand or a complication. So what they're going to say is land in this specific bay, and we will have security there ready to check on you because we've had some information that that this Stinger ship was attacked, and we have some questions for you, and we don't recognize you, right? So he's saying, all right, come on in, but we're going to want to check out your Stinger ship, and we're going to want to check you out when you land. And she says, okay. So now we've made another progress, right? We've gotten the ability to get into the station. But the problem now is, how are we going to avoid getting captured? Now, let me think about that. Okay, so I have an idea. So the docking bays are all sort of in the, I guess, the rear, what would be the tail of this creature. And there are a bunch of openings. Remember, this holds thousands, so there are a whole bunch of openings that have been sort of drilled into the back of this thing. You don't really want to think about where we're in its digestive system or something, kind of gross. But there are a whole bunch of openings and docking bays, and their beacon is directing her to one where all the security is going to be. And what Mainframe says is, well, the security is going to be there. What if we land at a different one and just book it? Just get the heck out of here and go hide. Right, and then they won't know where we are. Yes, the station's going to be on alert, but it's a big station, and I kind of know the area, and we can kind of sneak around. And now Chris is not super happy with this because she sucks at shadow, but that seems to be their best play. So what she's going to do is she's going to go into the wrong bay, right? And if you think about like Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon comes in with a tractor beam, and there's row after row of stormtroopers waiting when it comes in, ready to go in and inspect it. Well, all of the Federation, or the Shattered Federation security guys, and there aren't that many of them, right? This isn't the Empire. So they have like a half a dozen guys, maybe. They're all in that docking bay waiting, and she flies toward it, and then at the last minute, she's going to kind of cut to the side and go all the way to the opposite, like gun the engines all the way to the opposite, and then like land really quickly, and the two of them are they're in their environmental suits just in case, and they are going to pop the hatch and run the heck out of there and try to like find some place to hide. So this is a series of things that she's going to need to do. So the question is, should we enter the fray here and run this as a kind of like a running battle? And if we succeed, we manage to like completely evade them. I think that's probably what we're going to do. However, we're at 30 minutes, and that's going to probably take a while. So I think we will stop here, and we will continue in the next episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I certainly have. Got a couple of things that stumped me a little bit, but I think I figured out what's going on here. And I think, we're starting to build the map of this sector. There's a lot more here than it looked like when we first started, right? Until next time, guys, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been Starforged Alpha Cluster.